皆さん、こんにちは。香川博です。ブログを書いたりするときは山本洋二という名前を使っています。よろしくお願いします。今日は、ユニバーシティ・オブ・サンフランシスコという大学の教授で、パフォーミングアーツですとか、エグゼクティブへの、例えば英語でのプレゼンテーションとか、そういうのを英語という観点からコーチングをしている、大学の先生に、サンフランシスコから生の声を聞いてみました。まずね、今のアメリカがどうやってこう分断されているのか、なぜ分断されているのか、選挙でどうなるのかなというようなことについて深く話を聞いてみました。アメリカの社会を知る上でぜひ聞いてみてください。
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Hiroshi.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How is San Francisco right now?
San Francisco is still reeling under coronavirus, so a lot of it is closed down, and restaurants are closed down, and they're not doing very well. And then the air quality right now is really bad in San Francisco.
Still because of the fire?
Because of the fires. And so there are the air quality index, AQI, is above 170. And that's in the red zone, and it's unhealthy, and there's lots of particles in the air and dust and smoke, and it's horrible.
I saw through the news that in the evening time, I mean, how can I say, like a red air, it's weird. And how about right now?
You know, right now the sun is setting, and it's a bright orange, red glow to it. And when the sun sets, the sky is completely purple. And so it's
other planet.
It feels like we're on another planet. It definitely feels like we're on another planet. And a couple of weeks ago, in the middle of the day at noon, it felt like it was 10 o'clock at night. It was so dark that people outside were carrying flashlights at 12 o'clock at noon. It was crazy.
How about people who is suffering from asthma or breathing problem? It got to be a serious problem?
Absolutely. If you already have a condition like asthma or COPD, which is chronic emphysema, it's very bad for you. So
I see.
A lot of people have purchased, they bought air purifiers, and they have them for every room in the house now. And so it's interesting to see how coronavirus has made us all, and the fires combined, are really creating new markets for so many different types of products, businesses. It's really
yeah. But I have visited your apartment, and I visited San Francisco so many times, and such a beautiful city, and a lot of liberal people, and fun to talk to. That place is really fun to talk, and that's really sad.
It is. It is to see a city that's so vibrant and so alive, and now just how difficult, and the surrounding areas, the wine country, Napa and Sonoma, where a good deal of American wine is manufactured, is going to be in trouble for years to come, I think.
Now, I think this fire must be related to the environmental issue, which is a kind of big picture. I'm talking about global warming or whatever. And this extreme weather is happening because of our human beings' responsibility. And of course, current administration is against that concept. And how they are treating your disaster right now.
So Trump, the president of the country has blamed basically California for not managing its forests very effectively. And the interesting thing about that is that it's not the state of California that manages the forests. It's the federal government that is supposed to manage the forests. So when Donald Trump blames the state of California, it's really him that is mismanaged so many of the forests. And the second thing is that these aren't forest fires necessarily. They start as brush fires. They start with the dry growth that makes California the golden state, right? When it's raining, all of our hills turn green and beautiful. And during the dry months, they turn gold, which is why we're called the Golden State. And all of that brush is so dry that it catches fire easily with a lightning strike or bad weather, and then it just grows and moves very, very quickly. So back to your point about climate change, absolutely. We feel that this is about the human impact on our globe and our world, and it's affecting us all in California in very detrimental ways.
It's happening like a problem in Amazon or everywhere in the world. People destroy the nature. It's, you know, we have to pay for that later.
That's right.
And you feel such kind of fear of inside California.
Yep. It feels as though Mother Earth is telling us, is warning us, and is telling us that we need to change. And some people are still not able to hear the call of Mother Nature.
I understand. Mother Nature, you mentioned that this is a great point, because right now, President got the illness of the COVID-19. And some people say this is a punishment of the Mother Earth or God. But, you know, do you have any comment?
Yeah. So it's so interesting. He doesn't regard science. He doesn't believe in science. And he's done this consistently throughout the last 3.5 years, where he disregards what the experts say should be done about everything.
A little bit controversial issue I would like to ask you,
Sure.
because you are, university professor, so that is why just a little bit high-level question. In the United States, of course, this is an immigrant country, but basically people consider the so-called, legacy of the Protestantism is still quite strong in the culture. Right? And that Protestantism, ordinary cases, there are a lot of compromise between the belief and the culture. Of course, there are many people who believe in a different God, or different, there are diversity society, but originally, there are some kind of compromise between culture and science, or development, or belief and science, can I say. It was a tradition, but these days, people believe only God, ignore the science, or people want to have a silence and just delete a religion, no matter how they believe. And this is an interesting trend of the US history of shifting to extreme side. And of course, I don't care who believes what. Of course, every religion, strength and weakness. But if you have any opinion about that historical shift these days.
It's an interesting shift. There's always been a tension between people of faith and people of reason, people of science. And there are many people who are scientists who believe in science, but also believe in God or some sort of deity. And so there often, for them, isn't too much of a tension. But what's happened recently is that faith has become even more politicized in this country.
I see.
So people who might believe in God, there's a tension with them and other people who don't. And I think you'll find that more and more Americans are saying that they're agnostic, that they don't know if there's a God.
Tell me agnostic, more like easy word for Japanese to understand.
Agnostic means they are unsure if God exists.
I understand. Okay, agnostic. Okay.
Atheist means they don't believe that God exists. But agnostic is more in the middle. They're just not sure. Maybe they believe in nature or in some sort of spiritual world, but not necessarily a religious perspective or a perspective that believes in God. So,
for example, my case, I can see something is existing like a big cosmos movement of the all cosmos and the earth and some kind of things which people unknown. People, historically say, oh, whatever unknown things we cannot touch, but we have to have a fear. But of course, I understand that something is going on, life and death or whatever. But you are right. But there are some kind of similar people who does not believe a specific God, but care about nature. This is a
Care about
concept.
nature. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's too bad that in this country, the people who are fighting for the earth and fighting for changes to the way we use the earth
Mm.
are now, and here's a complicated word, vilified. Vilified means they are made to be the bad people, right? By the religious right. So the religious right are saying that the people who believe in climate change are evil and wrong and bad, and that's just crazy. So
Mm.
it's a difficult time in the U.S. We are really quite divided.
Like you, who is a position of the educational side, you have a lot of responsibility. Of course, that's case.
We do indeed.
Mm.
It's and you know I am really thankful for students because they come to the university much more questioning and much more critical. And the one thing that's really interesting about the younger generation is they're angry with us. They are angry with the older generation because they are inheriting a planet that is unhealthy, that is sick. And they are going to have to work so hard to combat or fight against what we have given them. And so there's a lot of anger in that generation.
I see. Well, this is a tough job, but I think that you are doing a good job.
Thank you. I try.
Okay, thank you so much. This is quite good information, and I hope that after the election, society will moving better direction, or coronavirus will be going out.
I hope so too. Thank you so much, Hiroshi. I appreciate it. Bye.